Welcome back to Reproducing Podcast, everyone. It's
been a
been a hot minute.
It's been a minute.
Welcome back to Mike, can you actually
Can we do it again? All
Yes.
right, all right. Okay, hold on. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, let's try that just one more time here. How do I even? Okay, there it is. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rubber Ducking Podcast. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
And your name is Charles.
That's
He's
right.
the host, and my name is Mike. I am the co-host, I guess.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right, Mike. You are the co-host.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, Mike. Yeah, I actually came today. I mean, as you saw on the broadcast, we have a lot of things planned for you. We're going to talk about the North Korean technology along with a lot of other things. So
That's right.
sit back and enjoy the show. And if you have any questions, please type it in the chat. We'll look at it and get to your questions every probably like 15 minutes. We'll address your questions.
Yeah, we'll play by ear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for watching today.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And the very first thing, so I guess like the first point that I kind of wanted to go over was like what is North Korea's intranet and how does it really work, right? Like, do everyone have access to internet in North Korea? Like, because, like by the look of like the tourists that are going into North Korea and coming out with this all fancy videos and etc., they make it seem like, yeah, everyone has access to like intranet and they have access to computers and they have access to cell phones. But like my hot take, like obviously I, came out from North Korea back in 2011 when when cell phone wasn't a thing. Back in my time, I grew up with the real FaceTime, like the face to face
The
time.
real FaceTime, yeah.
So my hot take was that, like, no, there aren't freedom of technology in North Korea, and like the intranet that is in North Korea, they're very selective of like
And
who
not
can
to mention, right? We're
Mhm.
talking not about internet. We're talking about
Right.
intranet.
Yeah.
So it's a network only within North Korea. It
right,
has no
within-
access to outside.
Right,
internet.
right,
Yeah.
right. And also, it's not just like within like North Korea. It's within like the universities and libraries
Oh,
and
it's
selected
not
homes.
nationwide.
It's not nationwide,
Oh,
though. There is like
okay.
a mobile network, right, that is provided by. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might have been Egypt.
Yeah, I believe so. Egyptian cell phone company.
Yeah, cell phone
Mhm.
company provided with like 3G network. So that is available throughout the country, right? But we'll get
Right.
to a little bit later on because there's a lot to unpack. So yeah, intranet, it only available in the libraries and you might ask, how do I know that? Because I've used a thing called the internet and I was able to research for it and I was able to look it up and I was do a lot of not in-depth research, but just in a research. And also like comparing that with my personal experience in North Korea. So yeah, intranet is not available, statewide. It's available only in the like libraries and schools and maybe high elites, right? People who are maybe like diplomats and they can actually use the intranet. But I believe it is heavily restricted and very, very closely monitored. So every single move that you make on the internet, because it lives at digital footprints, right? So you will
That's
be
right.
questioned at the 생활통화, right? It's like if you were to do something that you're not allowed to do. And yeah, it's like in terms of like the limitations, as I mentioned, like yeah, there's very little things they can do. You can actually browse like library I remember watching this video of a tour somebody who's been in the tour group and he was saying that in North Korea I was able to like go to the library and I was able to like research different books and download like files. So I believe the things that you can do with the intranet is very limited. Maybe like watching like North Korean propaganda like movies. I don't even think that you can actually download those. Like it might take a hot minute to actually even
So I
download
see,
like
the
yeah,
infrastructure
1
is probably
megabyte.
not very
Right. It's not
modern.
stable enough to sustain or like a support. The infrastructure is there.
Right, and we're talking about a country that quite frequently, and even in Pyongyang, is that true, have power outages? Or
Absolutely, yeah. And I've learned this through another North Korean defector friend that said North Korea, like Pyongyang, doesn't use North Korea's power. They actually have a direct line to China.
What?
So there is power
Interesting.
outage happens in Pyongyang, but very, very
Infrequently. Okay.
yeah, infrequently. So, first of all, like Kim Il Sung and Kim Jong Il's statues always have to be lit up, right?
Wow. Okay.
And their 주체 사상탑, right? So which is the 주체, like the ideology,
It's
like
a
the
little
monument.
flame, right? Yeah. It's like
the flame
imagine the
monument.
Washington Monument.
Right. It
except
always have to like lit up. So
the North Korean version.
that's right. North Korean. So they use that power, and therefore North Korea do have like Pyongyang, which is to us commoners like myself, is to a certain extent it's like a completely different country, right? It's its own kind of like a state. So yeah, that's North Korea's internet, right? And because there are some intranet, like there are like type of intranets, like that means they do have computers, right? And they do have like tablets and smartphones. And what was really, really funny was that watching these people, like the tourists going in, right, and documentaries that are coming out of like North Korean like students like kind of focused on the computer, like literally just staring at the screen like consistently and kind of like not doing anything. And also that's kind of like it shows you that okay, so they clearly have a job to do, right? And the job that they're assigned to is just sitting, right, and just looking at the screen doing nothing, right? And also, what was really, really funny to me was that how North Korea hates America, right? It's like hate is a strong word, but I mean like that's the name, like that's what they
that's the
are.
language they use.
Yeah, that's like we despise you, right? And the the computer that they use is like Windows, like Microsoft, right? Microsoft's like booting screen is like a Windows 98.
Right, and they wouldn't know necessarily that that's the American thing, right? Of course.
I feel like elites would know that, right? Like,
oh, you think so?
Elites would know. Yeah, Microsoft is like American company, right? And Nike is also an American company too. Like we're talking about like a brand names now, but like in North Korea, believe it or not, like I saw like Range Rovers in Pyongyang. Like there's one lady who actually I'm in close touch with. She went into North Korea as like a tourist back in 2015 as an American lady.
Oh.
But she went in there and she took a bunch of pictures, right, of like North Korean. And I guess there are a lot, like they can take specific pictures and a lot. I saw like Louis Vuittons and Range Rovers and like, yeah, I was like, whoa, that's really fascinating.
It's like so somebody's living the life in there, huh?
Right? It's like you would think like, okay, so first of all, North Korean regime is all against like, America, but clearly they're allowing, it's like those kind of like Range Rovers to come. Well, I mean, that's necessarily Range Rover is
UK,
American.
That's
UK.
British,
yeah,
but still,
yeah. See, like, so that means like they have money, right? It's one of the elites.
That's right, absolutely. That would have to be some very high-ranking official to be able to. I mean, I can't even afford a Range Rover in North Korea. My goodness.
Yeah. So obviously, like this is the point that I'm keep coming back to, right? Every single podcast, videos, like it's every time I'm coming back, and Pyongyang is like a completely different country, like to regular North Korean people. Like, yes, you can visit Pyongyang as a regular citizen, but under a very specific circumstances, like you are going to a tourist in Pyongyang, like a field trip,
very special field trip.
Yeah,
right?
very special field trip. Like when you do something extraordinary, like you work really hard at the company, like at the factory that you're assigned to, or at your school, you've done something extraordinary, then they would take you to Pyongyang. Right?
It's the privilege, the gift.
It's a gift from regime to actually come visit Pyongyang and visit like the Dongmuron, right? It's like the zoo.
Oh, the zoo. They have a zoo. Okay.
Water park and those kind of places to to show you like it's a privilege.
Because it's
right?
not like you have your zoo in your town.
Nope.
Right, or amusement park.
No.
Or running water.
No.
Yeah.
Running electricity.
Yeah, running electricity. This reminds me a lot of this is like almost exactly the Hunger Games District 1 versus the District, was it 13 or 12, right?
Yeah, my life was kind of like Hunger Games.
Oh my, and it is a big privilege,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
For
it is
them
a
to
big privilege.
visit
Like,
District 1.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So if you look at that and like owning, like imagine like owning a laptop or even like owning a tablet or smartphones, right? That's an extreme privilege to use that. And I like, who can benefit the most, right, from those kind of tablets or cell phones? Those are elites, obviously, right? Elites, diplomats, businessmen, right, who's doing the business outside of North Korea.
Yeah.
Like doing the business with China, right? And they would obviously have direct lines to call, right? Like, for example, like France, right? Because North Korea do have embassy in France.
Yeah.
And, Spain and a bunch of other places. And I believe they have a direct call from Pyongyang to those different places, right? Because they don't use North Korean networks. Instead, they use Chinese networks.
Yeah.
Right. So they can actually call. So those are the most people who benefits, right? Benefits from those kind of like technologies like intranets and tablets, cell phones,
turns
and
out,
computers.
technology, the communication devices are most useful when they're connected to actual networks. It goes anywhere.
Who knew? And I guess like that kind of like leads into another question of like, okay, so like that means like, yeah, diplomats and like businessmen and people with privilege in North Korea, they can do whatever the heck they want.
Right. That we talked about this in an earlier episode of the podcast where this is obviously anti-capitalistic society,
right?
Yet money can get you into anything and get you out of anything, right? If you have enough to bribe,
right? If you actually bribe the right person, right, and under right circumstances, like even if you commit murder, like you can actually come out of, like if you go back and listen to one of our original like podcast.
That's right.
we talked about like how my neighborhood, right? My neighbor, like he was drinking and driving, and he hit a grandma and she died, and he walked out free after 3 days. Like nothing
just
ever
3
happened.
days.
Yeah, nothing ever happened.
And with the bribe, right?
Well, right. Yeah, okay, with a bribe.
Wow.
So, like you mentioned, like North Korea is super against like capitalist countries, right? Just a 사회주의 socialist country, right? But if you were to actually dig under the hood, and if you're to actually look at how North Korea is running, is capitalistic. Because 장마당, right, the black market, you're not allowed to sell anything, right? I mean, like in like socialist country, right? Like buying and selling, that's a kind of like a capitalistic thing, right? Like houses are assigned. North Korea still is.
So the idea is like the government, like we all work together to produce, some sort of profit, and then that gets distributed. Therefore, it's our
we don't. There's
you
no
get
need for
provided
money.
Right.
We live in rations.
So
but
and just to kind of quickly touch on one of the questions. So in that sense, everybody works for the government.
in that
but
sense,
not for money.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We'll continue on.
Yeah. Yeah, so like North Korea still like it's actually runs like a capitalist country because of the black market, right? Like how North Korean black market is carrying the North Korean society, right? Not the elites, but North Korean
for the common
society,
folks.
for the common folks, right? But the reason why North Korea is still sustained is because of this elite people, right? The top 1% is actually most loyal to the regime. So it doesn't really matter
what the
rest of the people think about, right? Like it's a bonus that it's like the heavy brainwashing is going into it, like, and the generational punishment goes into it, right? So it is there to actually keep them in line, but whatever they do, like it doesn't really matter. Right, it's the top 1% of the people who's actually keeping the regime alive by doing the business with.
And rest are just trying to survive, right? And then you call it 장마당 black market. The reason why it's black market is because technically it's not allowed, right? For you to be buying and selling because that's capitalistic. But I know that we also talked about like North Korea at some point just kind of loosened the restrictions.
After the famine.
That's right, because people got to survive somehow, right? And then it's just essentially just free market.
Yeah. It is like,
but supply and demand, and
supply and demand. But you have to be a woman. North Korea is very patriotic, right? But the good thing, it's still patriotic and very misogynistic country. North Korea is, but now it's changing because women are only allowed to sell and buy things at the black, or not buy, but sell. They would be assigned a seat by the regime to sell certain things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
but it's only for women.
You have to be over 40 years old and have to be a woman to sell and buy things. Things might have been changed ever since I've left North Korea.
Right.
But when I was there, that was still the case.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so North Korea runs very much similar to capitalist countries, both in the top society, right? It's the top 1%, and on the bottom, like 99%. And I think it's just all my speculation and some of my research and my take on it was that, like, top 1% of the people, because you are because you're supporting the regime most, right? That comes with even heavier surveillance. Right? Like, I mean, like, you've seen, like, the North Korean influencers, right? Like, I mean, there have been 2 YouTube accounts by far, right? Like, the one little girl who's speaking, like, British accent is like, everywhere. Sorry.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to say, like, everywhere we go, there's amusement parks, you know?
Yeah, right. No, I remember her. I mean, I do worry about her because she just disappeared.
Yeah, all of a sudden, she's just like, it's just gone. So I mean, because of those kind of reasons, like, I think elites are even more heavily restricted, right? And there is, like, unspoken kind of, like, mutual, in a way, mutual trust too on the other side. But the moment you kind of break that, it's kind of like it goes out of balance, and just, like, entire family kind of, like, not kind of, but, like, the person who commits the crime gets executed, and then the family will be persecuted.
Right. They'll be essentially excommunicated, right? They're banished to the...
Right.
And that's what happened to your...
My grandfather. Yeah. That's what happened to my grandfather. But, yeah, so as I was saying, like, that, like, carrying North Korea and North Korean regime and North Korean economy as an elite, that does not mean that, like, your surveillance gets less. It's sometimes even it becomes like
even
more
tighter.
Yeah, because, like, some, you know, the spider Uncle Ben said.
That's right. That's what. No, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, more. A great power comes with great responsibility,
and
right?
then the state's gonna make sure they enforce the responsibility.
Right. Yeah, make sure you're
in line.
Yeah, you're in line with the regime.
Well, do you want to answer some questions, Charles? That we've been
before that, let me open up the doors or a window or I've turned some fans because I am actually really hot.
All right. Okay. Well, he is a hot man, so we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thanks for allowing us to vent the room a little bit. It does get quite warm with all the lights and whatnot. So we do want to answer some audience questions here, and a lot of interesting questions. Please keep them coming. Is that, sorry, it's a little hard. Is that Vivan or Vivian? I'm so sorry. The screen's a little far from me. But is there a single type of like positive mention to another country in North Korea propaganda / TV channels?
Absolutely, yeah. So North Korea is really big on like a lot of countries in Africa, like a Congo too, like Congos.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
I grew up watching like those kind of like dictator like any countries that are actually dictators, like they're pushing for like dictatorships.
I
right?
see.
So those
like
kind
Cuba?
Cuba too. Yeah, it's also
okay.
like Cuba. And they're huge on promoting those kind of contents.
Interesting.
And Russia, believe it or not, it might come to you as a surprise, but Russia actually. I actually grew up on like those Soviet Union like the propaganda movies as well. So TV channels. A lot of it is like during like German, like fighting Germans and defeating the Germans. Those kind of contents. And for us, it actually worked because like. Yeah, sometimes North Korean contents can get boring. It's all about
right.
It's all about like serving the regime, and taking the bullet for Kim Jong Il and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the message is still the same, right? But with like different kind of like feels to it, right? So it's kind of like in a way, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it's a little bit of variety. Still,
yeah,
something that's from outside of the country. Still,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask.
Yeah, I hope that answered your question, Vivian.
Yes. Yeah. And we are so sorry if we mispronounce your names. But thank you for joining. Please do correct us. I do want to ask this question here from Sid. I assume that in a country with such heavy restrictions, people would try to bypass this. Does this happen? And if so, how? And before you answer it, Charles, there was a question of VPN ?
That's right.
Why does VPN not work?
That's a great question. I don't think North Korea has VPN to begin with.
Right. So
and also there is no internet.
Exactly.
There are intranets, but like VPN is like a virtual like IP address, right?
It's a virtual private network. That's what it stands for.
Right. Right.
In an essence, right. This is the computer teacher moment.
There we go. Thank you, Mike.
There needs to be a cable, a copper or fiber optic wire that is connected to that place for people to get to in and out of it. North Korea has no such copper wire going to the regular people. Yeah. They're fully isolated network, probably except for directly to the palace, right? Where they want to play like PlayStation or whatever. Right?
One PlayStation.
Yeah,
right?
one PlayStation. So for the regular people, it's completely cut off physically. There's no signal going in and out, no wires being run. So it's not possible. But that doesn't mean that people would give up on getting foreign content, right? So that's where the question goes back to you, Charles.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. So bypassing all of these, that's where actually comes in the DVDs and micro SD cards. And really, what's really funny, I just had a talk with my North Korean friend today. Ooh. And he was telling me, because he has a direct access to North Korea, so he's still working with North Koreans right now. Yeah. Wow. He's trying to bring gospel.
Hopefully, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say hopefully the right kind of North Korean.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just got that. Yeah. Like, ooh, that would be not good. Yeah. Oof. But yes, right kind of North Korea. So he's working to bring gospel into North Korea. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So he actually works with North Korean refugees that are in China, and he trains them and he sends them back into North Korea. Right. So I probably can I say that here? I don't have I think it'll be okay because he talked about it on my channel, and also the video is coming up pretty soon with him. So you will find out. Stay tuned. Yeah, you'll find out more about there. But a little sneak peek of kind of the content that we talked about was that. Do you guys remember Gangnam Style?
I remember Gangnam Style.
Well, right. After 3 days of that song came out back in 2012, three students got arrested doing this.
Whoa! 3 days after?
3 days after.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
so it was that fast.
It's really fast, right?
That's amazing.
And then, do you guys know Squid Game, right? 3 weeks later, the Squid Game came out. Also, few students got captured
in North Korea.
In North Korea,
watching it.
Yeah, because they watched it and they talked about it.
Dang, they watched it before I did.
Right, 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
So
I mean,
the way
it's really unfortunate they got captured and got punished for it, but.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that they, it's because Kim Jong-un, after Kim Jong-un came up, they actually he came up with this law, right? Law
that's
of
right.
if you were to watch any kind of foreign media and like, I guess like not state approved foreign media, then you will actually get punished, right? So the way that North Korean people are bypassing the laws, right, as you say, is watching like. It's like the hard copies of like either DVDs, but DVDs are now it's kind of going away because of the micro SD cards, and it's so much easier to hide.
Oh, so tiny, yeah.
And you can just swallow, right? You can
Oh,
just like if something ever happens, just like take it out and just like swallow it, and it works, right? Yeah. So those are some like in a few ways that North Korean people bypasses, and don't get me wrong, like the punishment of watching those kind of shows and listening to foreign like radio shows, like it is extremely risky. And if you were to get captured, like as you saw in the rule book of North Korean, like they what they've had like life like a lifetime sentence or death, right? Death. Yeah.
For watching Squid Game.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's rough. Yeah.
Wow.
So smuggling, right? So we have like I don't know how it goes in, but I know that in a ballpark, like yes, the smuggling works, and people smuggles foreign media like South Korean dramas
and through the North Korea-China border, right?
Right, through the North Korean China border. Yeah,
I see. And I also know that some South Korean organization would send balloons, right, filled with those SD cards and things like that, and have kind of gotten and people in trouble before and got in trouble themselves before.
Yeah.
Should we read the next question over there? Thank you for your kind donation. Definitely helps us kind of tell Charles' story here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And Cecilia asks, as someone who struggles with mental health, I can't help but wonder, aren't folks deciding to end their life and mental health problems ever mentioned by the government in any way? Cecilia from Brazil says, love your content. Thank you again, Cecilia, for your wonderful contribution. And a question, too. It's a really important question, mental health.
Yeah, that's a very good question to actually bring up to and be aware. And, I talked about that topic on my channel, I think, once or twice. And the first thing that I mention is like, if you're struggling with mental health, I would highly recommend you go see therapy and kind of like talk to someone about it and get professional help. That's really important, and I really want you to do that. And to get back to your question of like ending their lives, like in North Korean society, it's very, very like grouped activity. Like everything is grouped, right? There is no individuality. Everything is grouped, right? So the moment you're born, you are sent to public school, right? In a classmate, and like you go to school every single day until you're 17, and then after and in school, they're heavily brainwash you in a collectivism, right? It's a collectivism, and once you finish your school, you go to military for many years, for men, right? For 12 years, and you come back home and you're assigned a job at a factory, right? So it's kind of like you're too busy to think of like, it's like I guess like doing the government work, like things like doing the things that government asks you to do. There isn't much talk of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think another aspect of this, and this is a kind of one of the mysterious things, but also the cruel reality of North Korea, is that the North Korean folks are constantly deprived, right, of food and many, like, of course, a liberty and other things, but every day is a survival for you. So it seems that from having heard your story, that the aspect that was pretty important is that you're really busy and literally if
trying
you
to survive.
You don't eat today, like you might die a few days later. In that moment, like the mental health is like not even in the equation because you're too busy trying to scrap, food and other things together. Is that
the common saying in North Korea was like, 죽고 싶다.
I want to die. That's what it's common saying.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people just say it like, 죽고 싶다. Like, I want to die.
Okay.
I'd rather die. I'd rather die. But my mom passed away when I was 11 from starvation. And one of the things that she always says like, 살기는 쉬워도 죽기는 힘들다.
Oh, interesting. So it's easy to it's
easy to live, but it's really hard to die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like she's, I don't know why she was saying that, but in a way it kind of made sense to me. Like when we're deprived of our food and deprived of like our freedom. I mean, at the time, like I didn't really know what freedom meant.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Only thing that was on my mind, and a lot of my friends from my neighborhood was like, food. Like getting by today, and when you get by today, it's like, yeah, we're okay, right? And also North Korean regime don't really promote like those kind of things, like therapies, or
I bet
not in any kind of that in nature, right? Because like, we're doing so great,
That's
like we're
right.
an amazing nation. Everybody's happy. Look at how happy people
Every
are.
day you're gaslit into thinking you're doing great.
Yeah. So. That's the sad reality of North Korea, and I wish that ends pretty soon.
Yeah, and I find it really, difficult and also very ironic is that the people who are in these extreme trauma, but in a manner that's normalized, they don't recognize that they're living in a traumatic condition, so don't really have the capacity to really process it, or because again, like it's normal to you, everyone else is doing the same thing, struggling through the same things. But I do know that once they leave, right, and well, many reasons. One, the escape journey is traumatic, your life has been traumatic, and then you arrive at a place, likely you're going to be the lower class, knowing nothing, not having any connections. That's challenging and traumatic.
Yeah.
And then that is a big struggle. I know that for the defectors in South Korea, as well as all over the world for North Koreans, right? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, so I can talk about that. So, like where the real struggle comes from is like Mike mentioned, when you resettle in South Korea, and especially I was talking with my friend today too, is that like he kind of put it in a way, it's like, it's like the loneliness comes in, very prominent in like people deciding to, end their lives because they're so lonely. Like right now in Korea, it's Chuseok, right? So it's the Korean version of Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah.
Therefore, a lot of people are just going back to their families,
hometown,
and get visits
that's
family
rough.
members.
Yeah.
And for North Korean defectors, like they don't really have places to go to because like their families are all still back in North Korea, and these guys, like especially during the holiday seasons, that's when the sadness becomes very prominent, and decide I really want to go back to North Korea, and I really want to.
Yeah, I mean, although it was extremely challenging and depriving lifestyle, at least they had the community, I guess,
right? Exactly.
Everyone
they had your
was doing the
friends.
same
It's like we're going through the struggles together, right?
Wow.
But now coming to South Korea, it's like, well, and also here is the really important part too. Like you are coming to South Korea in hopes of living a better life, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
A completely different life, and hoping that it's a completely different life and it's gonna be changed. But here's a catch. Because South Korea don't really have a good view on North Korean defectors because of the social conflict of like North Korean people are here to take our money and be lazy and just not do anything. And also, I mean, which I understand to a South Korean person's perspective, right? It kind of makes sense to me too, is that, I'm a South Korean citizen. I am struggling to get by. Like my kids, I can't afford to send my kids. I mean,
affording a home is it's really hard. And you watch a North Korean defector get a free housing.
Yeah,
that I mean, I can see that.
For
jealousy,
a lifetime,
call it whatever, but like that could make some people upset for sure.
Yeah. So because of that, there are a lot of like conflicts, right? And because of that, North Korean people really don't have a good view in South Korea. And also, when North Korean people does something wrong, everybody knows about it now because South Korean media is like focuses on like, oh, I told you so.
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
Look at these uncultured people.
Yeah, like look at this. Like literally, my friend was sharing that like one of his friends got called commie at school.
Yeah. I mean, the kids will do that.
No, not kids. A
College?
teacher.
Teacher called him a commie?
Teacher was calling.
Okay, that's not okay.
Yeah, see, like teacher was calling the North Korean defector kid a commie. So it's very kind of like in a way polluted. If that fits into the conversation.
Interesting. Tell me more. Yeah.
It's very messy. That's what I'm.
Of
trying
course,
to say.
yeah, you're right. It absolutely is. It's it seems and and here's another thing. I do see a lot of the North Korean content in South Korean language, YouTube channels, the Imangap, right?
Yeah,
so that's the TV,
now
the
we
public
go to
TV
Meet
channels,
You. Yeah.
cable TVs. They air these stories all the time, and one thing that kind of gives me the South Korean, right, at least ethnically, a bit of a dopamine hit was that. Wow, look at how much better because you know as much as like we are not brainwashed, right? Like South Koreans are not brainwashed, but you do grow up your entire life and live the entire life, and not to mention for people who do go to military, they are educated. North is the enemy,
Right. Yeah.
So there is this like a sense of superiority of like, we've won the economic war, what have you. So like that gives you what they call the kukbong, you know. But like there's a dark side of this, kind of right? Mechanism. So like it feels like when I'm watching this content, it's like, oh, my country is so benevolent, taking care of the North Koreans. They're gonna have a great life, except the people are not ready for it culturally to accept them as one of us. And then the social structure, although South Korean government does a lot for them, there's an end of the road there, right? Like that the Chuseok story is perfect. Like the dream, the South Korean dream of North Korean defector coming, and then only to realize. Their loneliness is what's driving them to death here, even though they have endless amount of food. It's really sad reality.
Yeah. So, I guess kind of like, to Cecilia, to answer your question was that, it happens in South Korea. It happens in the free world. Like, yes, I mean, I'm not saying that, like I've personally I've experienced that kind of like sadness in North Korea, like right after the currency devaluation back in 2009. My neighbor, entire family committed, took their own life.
Wow.
They bought pork and put cyanide in it because, they one day they just lost everything.
Wow.
And that's just one case, right? That's the only one thing
that must have happened everywhere, just out of entire
right, because maybe
despair.
Right, because I don't hear about it, right? Because like North Korea just like blocks all the informations and everything. Like,
that's right. It goes against like we're doing great message, so you're not gonna hear about it, right?
Right,
in
right.
The media.
Yeah, but in South Korea, like I hear it very frequently, and that actually happened to my dear friend as well. I actually talked about it on the channel once. Yeah. My dear friend, she was doing so great. I worked with her for
and
half
she was
a year.
She was on the stateside, right? She was in
she was in South Korea.
Okay,
she resettled in South Korea. Like she was, she met Angelina Jolie, and she was on like BBC, and she was doing so great. Like she was on all different kind of platforms, and she was getting all these attentions, and she was the definition of one of the like success stories of North Korean defector.
Yeah.
But out of the blue, I hear that she took her own life. So I'm like, wow, it's very, sad.
Right.
It's like we overcome so much to come to South Korea to have a better life, but because of all of these conflicts and South Korean people, in a way, they're not educated enough on the matter and
absolutely
and the topic.
not. Yeah,
and therefore it's really saddening. So and because of that, like I highly encourage everyone, right, with mental health issues, like I recommend going to see therapy and it just seek help and talk to your friends and your families. And one of the things that I'm still kind of really sorry for is like I wasn't there for her. Like I wasn't like I wish that I was there to talk to her about
I
it.
see.
Right.
Yeah,
so
because you understand, right?
I understand. Like I could have told her like, hey, things gonna get better. we just take another like one step at a time. And hey, if you need to talk to, and if you need money, I don't have much, but
here's $2. I mean, that's why you do what you do, right, Charles? To tell these stories so that people know,
right?
Yeah. It's all about people knowing these stories, personal stories, not just what you hear on the news, because those are never personal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, we do really believe that you guys being part of listening to our stories is what's gonna bring about really positive changes to all the North Korean defectors.
Yeah.
And other folks who are in similar situations in the world. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thank you so much, Fever Music GR for your donation. Yeah, it's gonna help us to continue to do what we do. So I really appreciate you. He said, discovered your channel less than a week ago, and your insight is endlessly valuable. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing your experience and raising awareness for those without a voice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is the thing that I try to do, is to give voice to voiceless North Koreans and give them platform to share their story as well. So, I mean, that's why I started this thing, right, with Mike, let's rubber duck this thing out, rubber duck the heck out of this thing.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess I should also say, and we said this a few times before, but our goal is not to give advice or to come to a solution.
Right.
The whole point of rubber ducking, right, just as a recap, is that we just want to talk about issues in hopes that some insights, some angles, aspects of things might uncover themselves in our conversation. So
in the process, yeah.
Absolutely. And we are not experts, other than the fact that Charles has been there. But, we don't claim expertise on these because there are people who are experts on policy, how the diplomacy works, what is the best way to really help these folks who are struggling. But again, so we do want to have that disclaimer.
Right.
We're not experts, but thank you, because these just colloquial, right? These, stories, fireside chats.
Yeah.
These stories do still carry weight, and I think that's what changes the hearts. It's not the policies, right?
Yeah.
It's
personal
the changing of
experiences.
the people's hearts. So thank you for being part of that.
Yeah.
All right.
So shall we go back to just talking about?
Let's go back to our content for a little bit here. So
bit.
we were on this like intranet, and then now the computer access.
Yeah.
Where do you want to take us, Charles?
Yeah. So let's talk about like. No, I think we just left off of it the real beneficiary of the technology, right? Which is the elites, right?
It's never the common people.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the common people would do even with the cell phones, right? I mean, it would make their life easier just to call, like, hey, what's going on? But mind you, that average North Korean salary back in 2015 was, I mean, it's still now too, that it's estimated $800 to $1,200.
Wow.
While smartphone costs $1,400.
That's right.
So it's worth entire salary.
So really, it's not a thing that the common people could really have.
No, by any means. I mean, think about, like, for me, like for us, white rice was a luxury.
Yeah, I saw your other video about that.
Yeah, white rice was a luxury. And if you have a bicycle at home, like that in itself is like, you're doing pretty solid because you have a bicycle.
Wow.
But to own a cell phone, that's unimaginable.
Wow.
And the reason why, why would people have a cell phone? Right? Like, why would they want a cell phone, right? Or and I think it all like links back to the propaganda, right?
Okay.
Of like the regime. And here, think about it too, right? Think about it. Inevitably, South Korean drama creeps into North Korea.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
And in the South Korean dramas, they're using cell phones.
That's right.
They're using smartphones. They're using tablet. They're using computer. They're going to PC cafe.
Yeah.
Right? PC bangs. And people are seeing it, and they're craving it, and they are curious about it. It's like, wait a minute. They have it. Why don't we get to have it? Right?
Oh,
and Kim Jong-un actually, all right, you want it? You can have it.
You got it.
But it's too expensive. Nobody can own it. Right? So I think it's there to actually continue to promote North Korea. It's like how great they are. It's like it's a propaganda.
Not only
machine.
that, but it's like it's their grace from the leaders, right? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at how great a leader is, right? So and providing us with like cell phones.
So it's really appeasing the elites who are in Pyongyang. I was like, look at this. You get your smartphone from Kim Jong Un. You get your food and housing from Kim Jong Un.
Your tablet.
What more could you possibly want?
And I mean that's also what like this tourist, right, who's going into North Korea, basically carries it out to the Westerners, right, to out of the world.
And they're actually doing fine. Look, they have smartphones. They're dressed well.
So you know, I'm not sure if they are. I'm not really sure if they are willingly or unwillingly or unconsciously doing that, but you know, like that's basically what it is. Like it's literally to continue to promote like North Korean propagandas.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah, like propagandas and of course like I actually got my hands on one of the cell phones back in 2018, and I was able to see like what kind of content was there.
Oh yeah.
On North Korean smartphones. Awesome. Okay, like they have like Angry Birds, they have Tetris, they have like chess, and they even have like dictionary too. Like North Korean dictionary.
North Korean dictionary,
right?
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure you guys also have seen like the BBC, like how they got hands on the smartphone. It's like whenever they type like "oppa," like it means like literally like a blood related brother, but they change that word like automatically to be comrade.
Because it's a slang that the younger females call the older female, or the between the dating relationship in South Korea.
Right.
And that's everywhere, of course, in the K-drama, K-pop, whatever.
Yeah.
So the regime's like, we can't
have
this
this
comrade.
So they changed the comrade, you know, and even the word South Korea, if you were to type 한국 or 남한,
which is a South Korean term.
Yeah, it says like a 괴뢰도당. So meaning a puppet state, right? So he changes that. And North Korea actually ripped off a lot of different like a gaming.
Right. So when you say Angry Birds, it's not as actual Angry
Birds.
Right?
No. But it was like a North Korean version knockoff of like Angry Birds, right? Yeah. And they have like this. I mean, North Korea doesn't really have a streaming service, right? There's no streaming service. Like, I mean, there are. When I was in North Korea, there were like a one official like a state-run channel.
That's a TV channel,
right?
조선중앙
television, right?
Yeah.
And in those kind of contents, like you learn a lot about like how Kim Il Sung came to be, Kim Jong Il came to be, and then Kim Jong Un is doing, right? And what they're doing to make our lives better, and like how America is continuously trying to, you know, take our land, take our country, like things like that. But on the smartphones, on the other hand, like they have like dictionary, a lot of games, and even like kind of like a knocked off version of like Netflix too. Like it's called 길동무, right? That's like so in that like you can watch a lot of like a propaganda movies as well. So which is like a fascinating piece of technology because like it is like a really really old Android basically like. And also, I recently found out this guy. Found out about this guy. His name is Pak. So spell with P4CK, and he's a hacker. And there's a YouTube video too. I'm not sure if I just watched the video, but I'm not sure if it's legit though. But he claimed that he actually took down the entire North Korean network. So I'm really curious, like what you guys think. So if you guys watch it, and let me know. But
I mean that's interesting. North Korea does have an online presence, so if you guys can actually go check out North Korean government sites if you want to. In fact, if you're a South Korean citizen, that is illegal to do so.
Yeah, but in America,
if you're American, go do it.
Yeah.
And here's one funny story. I don't know if you heard about this. So South Koreans, because it's on the regular public website, so these sites are not accessible to the North Koreans, but it's, again, North Korea propaganda out on the web for anybody outside of North Korea to enjoy.
Yeah.
So the South Korean, of course, inevitably got access to it, and they wrote a little poem praising Kim Jong-un. They did, except if you read the diagonal characters, it would say Kim Jong-un is an SOB. And then they didn't catch it.
Wow.
So it was up there for a while. Other North Koreans saying, this is such a great thing for our leader.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, somebody definitely got in trouble for that in North Korea, right? But
yeah. Wow, that's so interesting. I did not know that, but how funny is like imagine people who actually designed that website. It's like, why didn't you think about this? right?
Yeah, and also, like that's what kind of fascinates me is like you work on mobile apps. You're an engineer, right? And you've done it before. And imagine like getting a request from your client saying, "So, for our app, anytime anybody types in open, I want you to write a piece of code so that it changes to comrade."
Should I do that?
Just go do that for all your clients' apps.
Right.
You're like,
I've got the power. Sorry. But I'm sorry. So continue.
I mean, so the fact that somebody in North Korea actually went and had
went
to
in
do
great
all of that,
length
went to
to
great length, and I think they also try to. You know how emojis get updated every once in a while. So there are people, body of people who get together to decide like what is good to have it's international standard of characters.
Yeah.
And North Korea, I think, did try to get Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un as like special characters, so that it's just like it's single characters as Kim Jong-il, like Kim Il-sung. Obviously got rejected.
Right.
But yeah, they really try to, make their platforms really align with their Juche ideology, it seems. A lot of effort, A for effort. Is it useful? I guess for their purpose. So,
yeah. I mean, I feel like if it serves the purpose, it'll be great. But I feel like North Korean regime wouldn't go with that idea because like there is so much weight in Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il's name, right?
Oh yeah. And I mean, this all goes back to your talk about the beneficiaries, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, benefits the regime. That's the goal of it, right? It's
Right.
not to benefit the people or what have you.
Yeah. So kind of like going back and like educational contents on those kind of platforms, right?
What can you learn?
Yeah. So as I was saying, I mean, obviously there are a lot of like different type of contents to keep people distracted from like South Korean dramas, right?
Oh, I see. They have to compete with South Korean content.
Exactly. I mean, that's why North Korean, like there is actually a North Korean pop too. So if you guys were to search for like North Korean pop, then yes, like it would come up like North Korean girls, like trying to compete with like South Korean,
like Blackpink,
but it's instead of red pink because
that's right.
Red. Yeah, so it is actually there to keep North Korean people distracted and like elites distracted, right? It's like.
Do you think that works?
I think it works to a certain extent. It works because, along with I'm gonna give you freedom to use I mean, obviously you can't access Google, right? You can't.
But it's still a privilege, bestowed upon.
Right, bestowed upon you
by
to
the
use.
regime.
By the regime, and you can use certain things and watch like propaganda contents, and of course there wouldn't be like how to overthrow a regime, right? Kind of like those kind of contents, obviously.
Right.
But there will be like where the Kim Jong-il was born, and like all of this kind of like propaganda like piece of information like lives there. And things like sorry, I'm blinking out.
Things like
the Red Star and also
Red Star.
so Red Star OS, right?
That's right.
Even it's an Android and the computer is a Red Star OS, and those phones and tablets have like they take a random pictures of what you're watching, right? Because
screenshots.
They can swap out the SIM cards, right? Swap out the SIM cards, and you can actually insert a external micro SD card.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right,
okay.
and you can read a lot of different content. So, like the way that North Korean like security guys designed this is like, cell phone has its own like a lock, and then the micro SD cards has its own sets of like unlocking like key signature, right? And when you put it into it, it would kind of like, oh yeah, so North Korean regime did approve this.
I see. So they have some sort of way to verify it.
Yeah, communicate. Yeah. Okay. So and on top of that, it actually takes a screenshots of your screen every once in a while and saves it to the folder where it can never.
The user can't touch it.
Right, user can touch it, but regime can actually.
Police came.
Yeah, they can actually access it, right? Yeah, so along with like giving access to like like North Korean propaganda contents and giving them freedom to use cell phones, and coming up with this law to heavily punish you if you were to watch those kind of contents. Like, to go back to your point, Mike, is that yes, it is working because there are there are people who are like a second thinking about like, should I do it? Right? Should I watch it? Right? And especially like I mean people still do it anyway. Right? Because like as I was talking about my friend who was testifying that he had he knew he heard about this incident where people two like students got arrested of watching the Squid Game.
Right.
So it happens. But I think it's becoming less frequent. In my opinion.
Yeah.
And I guess like going back to this, and also kind of like adding on to that kind of like topics, like how smart are North Korean smartphones, right? Because like we do have to wonder, like, is it like iPhones? Like, is it like the Samsung? Like right now? Like, no.
So it's definitely not North Korean manufacturer, but I think they are probably the cheaper ends of brands in China that they license to rebrand and bring in, right? They do like North Korean. It's official. Right. So Egyptian cell phone company, but the devices may come out of China.
Yeah,
is what I heard,
made
right?
in China.
Yeah, made in China. Yeah,
made in China and rebranded as like Morandong and I think Kumgangsan too and Fiparam and things like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, it's not very smart at all. Like again, like I mentioned, this like maybe ripped off Angry Birds and chess and North Korean dictionary. Like if you were to search for oppa, like you would get translated to comrade and namhan, and you would translate puppet.
So very limited. It's not like up to the device's standards elsewhere, and I guess that's kind of expected.
Yeah. And again, like when I was in North Korea, like owning one of the cell phone was like a like unthinkable thing because it's just like so expensive and like you can't really get. Well, we didn't have a smartphone, but towards the end of my era, which was like 2011, I did see like a brick phone.
Oh wow! And that was fancy,
right? That was everything.
Wow!
Like brick phone was like everything. So yeah, but still, like USB sticks exist. Micro SD cards exist, and like those like a little foldable like a DVD player.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, foldable DVD players. That still exists in North Korea too. And like a DVD player that now actually goes USB stick goes in too. Like those kind of things exist too.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the last point that I kind of wanted to bring up too, like kind of like leading back to like the tourism.
Okay, yeah, we did get a question about that too. It's like, oh, should I go? Should I not have an opportunity to go?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you follow me and
you know the answer.
you know the answer. Don't go. Don't, please. What are you doing? Are you trying to support North Korean regime? But I mean, like human nature, being human, like we are curious, right? We want to know like what's really happening. But
is it okay, Charles, if people go to China and look through the binoculars?
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Or go to Korea, South Korea.
Yeah, you can.
Much more fun place to visit, and then they also have a place you can look through the binoculars.
There you go. Yeah, there's a great nightlife in South Korea.
No, I hear not as great in North Korea.
Yeah.
Right? So there we go.
But like. I was actually, this is actually somebody asked in Reddit. He was kind of like filming North Korea and says, why is everyone so nonchalant about presumably a white tourist filming them on a cellular phone? Like wouldn't this elicit like some form of panic or at least curiosity?
It's like panic as in because like they're the enemy, or
right?
Okay.
Or I mean like a foreigner, right? Because like they've never seen them before.
Okay. Huh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah. What's the answer, Charles?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the exact answer. I can only give what I think it might be. It's like, again, it goes back to the point that like people who are in Pyongyang, they got special training, right? Like there are people, like they're chosen people who get to live in Pyongyang. They're not just regular people. No. There are people who have the privilege to live in Pyongyang, which means they had the extensive trainings, more trainings on how to deal with like foreigners, right?
I see.
So I mean, in case of like again, like I mentioned, like yeah, if some other city people came into Pyongyang as like a tourism, right, or like a picnic, and they saw like foreigner filming them, like they would be mind blown. Right? They
So
would be like,
that
oh
would
my
be the
gosh.
natural reaction.
Yeah, that
right?
would be the natural reactions.
Yeah.
But because people who live in Pyongyang, they're different kind of species. Lack of better words. I'm sorry, but they're kind of different people than regular people that are in like as to say like Suncheon or Sariwon or Changjin, like the town that I was born in, right? So yeah, the reason why they're just like care, like they don't really care, like they just go about their business, is because yeah, that's their job. Like people have a job in Pyongyang. Yeah, so
it's to represent the regime well.
Right.
Yeah.
To be the mobile like a 모범생, like what is 모범생?
The model citizens.
Yeah, the model citizen that they basically requires you to be.
Right. I mean, it makes sense from like the regime's perspective. It's like, oh yeah, foreigners, like our country's great. Obviously, people come to watch it, see it. Yeah, no big deal. I've seen this a million times. It's kind of the attitude they want the
right.
It's
like a normal. Right? It's like whatever. Like this is like if you film me, I don't care because like this is normal. Like
although internally they might be like, oh my gosh, never seen my friends.
Oh, I'm gonna be famous. No, it's like internally they might be panicking too. It's like like I can't do certain things, like I have to follow
have to
like
go on the best behavior
behavior, otherwise like
because the security the secret police follow those foreigners who are on the tour too, right?
Secret police, like the tour guides, like they're from like Kim Jong-il's 정치대학.
Okay.
정치대학 is
they're from the regime. They're not just tour guides.
No, they're not just the tour guides. They're extensively trained. yeah. I mean, again, like the socialist country, right? Every government owns everything, right? So it's like, I mean, like I was government property, right? It's like I'm expendable, like that. So I guess like going back to your question, like if you want to visit North Korea, please keep it in mind that I mean, you could go to North Korea, and I do, advise against you going to North Korea. But if you really want to, you can. But please keep it in mind that the things that you see, it's not genuine. And like and you have to think that people here, like these are special type of people and was born and raised here with privilege, and they got extensive training on how to be on best behavior when tourists are around.
Yeah. Did you know that I actually got to visit
Ooh,
on a tour?
I think you mentioned that. I think you mentioned that once.
Yeah. So there was a time when South and North Korea were really buddies. We're trying to be anyway. And that opened up a land tourism route to North Korea. There's a Kumgang Mountain right by the border, which is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've been there and done that. And while the natural beauties and everything is awesome and wonderful, like if like Charles said, everything that's going on, all the money that South Korea spent there, that did also go to the regime. So there's always a criticism, no matter how you get associated with Korea, is there's money flowing one direction to the North Korean government. The chances are you will be helping the regime. So I think it's a very fair thing to always be mindful, like you said, Charles, like what's going to happen with all this, and like you said, like the annual salary, right,
of a regular
$800 to $1,200, like that, instead of going to citizen, going to the regime. And having as somebody who's been there to their one of the best tourism sites, it's beautiful, but there are better places.
Or go France. I would definitely go visit France.
Yeah, again, we don't give advice. This is just our thoughts. Please feel free to completely ignore it. But this is what we think anyway.
Yeah, this is our thoughts. So thank you so much, guys, for joining our lives. And
I'm sorry we couldn't answer all the questions, but we will continue to do this. We do intend to be back.
Yes.
Been busy, but
yes, we'll be back every Wednesday. So please stay tuned. And I will see you guys next week. And thank you so much for the donations, guys. That was
that was unexpected.
That was completely unexpected. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great time, and we'll see you guys next time.
Alrighty. See you later.